Have you been thinking about a small 1/4-inch router? Well, I've got one for you. Welcome back to Festool Fest, the show that celebrates Festool, Festoolians in the Festooliverse. I'm Jay, your host, and today we're going to be looking at a new Festool OF1010 REBQ router. So let's get into it. The Festool OF1010 REBQ-Plus is on sale right now in April of 2026 for $599. And for that, let's see what you get. First of all, it comes in this sustainer. This is a Sys3 M237 sustainer, so 237 millimeters height. And we've got a bunch of our stuff inside here, as you can see. Oh, look, there's a light. One of the big things about this kit when it started last year is this light. Now, this particular model of OF1010 was released last year in 2025. Prior to that was a model called the REQ-F. The actual router was the same, however, the kit component that came with it was a bit different. But let's get into it, have a look here, and see what we got. So when it comes to this light, I want to mention to you that this light is available as a separate accessory. However, it can only work on later model 1010 routers, meaning any router manufactured after September of 2021. And all you have to do is look on your manufacturer's plate and you can see this particular router was manufactured in September of 2025, so we're pretty golden. But let's see what else comes in the kit. Now with this light, you might be wondering why is it in a package, why doesn't it have a place inside the sustainers? If you're familiar with sustainers, you know that there's always a pocket for any kind of accessory. This will actually install into the router and we won't really need to remove it to store it after that. So we've got our light. There is a plug-it cable. If you're not familiar with the plug-it cable, this is kind of one of the big things for the Festool system. You've got these plug-it cables that you can remove from your tool and use it interchangeably with your vac. I actually have a whole box filled with these cables. We don't really need that because I've already got that hooked up to my CT. Of course, there is the router itself. Here it is. Oh, very nice. Gosh, it's so... There's always something exciting about when you get a new tool, right? So we've got the router. Inside the case, we've got warranty card, owner's manual, rods for the parallel guide, collet. This particular router uses both 1/4-inch and 8mm collets. This looks to be the 1/4-inch collet. Guide bushing guide. And there is the new and updated SAOF1010 MFK. This edge guide replaces the old one that they used to have for the 1010, which was pretty janky. This one is really nice. It has these adjustable screw things here so you can take the fence and you can move it back and forth to, meet any of your needs. You can close it up if you really want to. The rods go into these holes here. Or here, actually, the outer rods are for the OF1010, and this guide will work with the MFK 700 by using these points here. The locks for the rods. Right here is a microfine adjustment, so you can adjust the back and forth of the edge guide from your router, depending if you need to make finer adjustments. And the nice thing about it is always these all fit into their own respective positions here inside the sustainer. But let's have a closer look at the REBQ and see what kind of features it has on it. So as you can see, the body of the router is here. Of course, the motor's inside this upper chamber. There is a speed control here on the top, right by the handle. So if you're hand holding it, you can easily reach around and adjust that. The handhold does have the trigger. The trigger is down here with the green button, and then this other one can lock it in and leave it on, so you don't have to hold your hand on it the entire time. There are operations when you're probably going to be using it in this manner, pushing it along, and that allows that. Now, one thing to remember when you're using this is that it does have the plug-it cable. You want to insert the plug-it cable and make sure you give it a good 1/4 turn twist till it locks. This is really important because people have found that if they don't lock it in, if they just stick it in, and this is true of a lot of across the Festool lineup, if you just stick it in and you don't twist it, there can be some wiggle here that will actually cause short in the connection, and eventually you'll wear out either the plug-it cable or maybe the socket at some point in time prematurely. If you actually put it in and give it a twist, nothing will ever happen to it, right? That'll be very, very safe. Another thing you want to do before you add the plug-it cable, because this is a hard lock switch, right? If you were to add this to it now, oh, it's not starting up, that's good. All right, good. The concern is that it may start up, so do make sure that before you plug in your plug-in cable, make sure this is released from the lock. so that doesn't happen. Because God forbid, what you don't want is this to be all connected with a bit on it and suddenly you start it up by accident, or perhaps if it comes off, the power drops off and then comes back on. We don't want that to like start up and then that could be a problem. It could lead to injury. So do be careful of that. Do be careful of that. There's a knob here on this side. This is actually unlocks the plunge mechanism so you can plunge it up and down. There's a turret here that controls your depth stop, so you can control your depth by unlocking this, and then this can be adjusted, right? There's two little stops here. Then once it's all locked together, this turret also has a micro adjust, so you can slowly adjust. There we go. You can adjust the depth of your cut in a fine level. I don't really use the scale on these depth gauges. You can, these are in millimeters. The older F version had this in imperial. Overall, I prefer millimeters because it's just much easier to work with. But you know, if you're really worried about that, you can do conversions or even maybe get some kind of sticky tape to cover it up if you're hyper in desire need of like using imperial at all times and are unable to do anything about it. Now you also have this turret stops or this other stops here, so you can use that to slowly work your way down with different passes and just drop it really slowly, at least the head, right? And then the dust collection port is here, and the dust collection port works with the D27 or D36 hoses from Festool. You just kind of slide it in, and then you're good to go from there. There's a green button here. Every time you see Festool tools with something green, that usually means that it's doing something. So this is your arbor lock. So when you want to actually change your bit, you'll use that and lock it in place. And there's actually a pin that will go through the shaft. You just gotta find it. And then once it locks in there, then you can use your wrench. There's an 18mm wrench right here. And this works just like most any router on the market today. Put that pin in and then you can like loosen and tighten the collet as you need to. Down here at the base plate, we've got a base plate that's removable. You can swap this out with other base plates that you can buy from Festool individually, or you can also buy it as part of the kit. There's a larger kit that has a bunch of accessories that really expand the usability of this router. Other features on the OF1010 are these knobs here for these slots, and all of your rods go through here and they can lock in. There's one on this side. These are spring loaded, so do be careful if you end up taking them out because you could lose them. And on the other side, there's another locking pin there. So these all go in like this, and then I can lock it like this. And now I've got the rods inserted, then I can either put the rail guide or the edge guide. One last thing on the back here is a little screw with a slot, or just a little dado, what do you want to call it? And this will be for a support foot. So when you're actually using it on a rail, this half of the base is left hanging over the rail. So you'll put a little support foot there, screw that in, and that will keep the router level as you're using it on the rail. This is true of all Festool routers. You can see right here, there's a line. There's a line here. There's a line here. A line here, and even a line here. These all show you the center point of the collet itself, which means that if you put once you've set the bit inside the collet, you'll know that the center of the bit is in the exact center of the router. And these rods are precision ground for accuracy. So even if you're putting these in and using the edge guide, you can always know that this line represents the true center of the bit. Now, of course, depending on the size of bit you're using, you're going to have to calculate an offset depending whatever you're routing. So that's something to consider. But these lines are hyper accurate for the center of the collet, which is really, really fantastic. Now, this router does replace an older version, the original version of the OF1010. The easiest way to tell the difference between the two is that this turret on the other one is on this side of it. There's also an additional stem here somewhere on the base, so having the turret here plus the stem and everything actually obscures the vision of the bit. So you know they moved it all over when they redesigned this a few years ago, about 6 years ago, and now it's a much better router. Same kind of compact, easy to use, but just a lot better for visual, you know, for sight lines and stuff like that. All right, let's get into our light here. We're going to install the light since it comes with it. Comes in this package. This is the LMOF1010R. You can buy this separately if you already have the router. As you can see here, here is our packaging. There's the light and the power pack manual. The way this works is that this is the ring light. There are 8 LEDs inside this translucent housing, or this opaque housing. And this is actually down at the bottom. So this light source is down at the bottom at the end of the bit, down by inside the base, instead of coming from above. Like a lot of router companies will have the light coming from above. This is from below, so you actually get a more even illumination of your cut without any kind of shadow lines that may be affected by the lights being mounted in different locations. Also, these lights are rated at 5,000 Kelvin, which is warmer than daylight, which is 6,500 Kelvin, but cooler than incandescent lighting, which is 5,600 Kelvin, or 3,200 Kelvin. Once you start to fall below 5,000, you start to get more warmer tones. And, it all depends on what you like, but this cooler tone at 5,000 Kelvin gives you just more accurate color representation while woodworking. This is charged by USB-C. There's a USB-C port, and the USB-C plug goes in here. Now, it does not come with a cable. Evidently, Festool believes that you probably have enough cables. They don't want to give you another one. And, if they end up giving you one, it's probably one of those cheap ones that never straighten out, which always irritates me. Now, here's the thing. You got to be careful with your USB-C charging cables, because there are certain pin configurations with USB-C that you plug it in and it charges, and it's perfectly great. But then there are other pin configurations where you plug it in and that cable just doesn't charge that particular device. And there doesn't seem to be any kind of rhyme or reason. I've had some things that charge on certain cables and other things that won't on the same cable. So you'll have to play around with it a little bit. There are 2 different illumination settings, one very bright, one even brighter. They will last 6 hours and 3 hours respectively. Of course, the lower setting is 6 hours. The higher setting is 3 hours on average. And then you just got to charge it. But then there are some pins right here that you can see in that part. And that actually slides onto these tabs right here. They'll go together much like this. And you see this is the lock. So if you want to take it off, take it apart, you pull on that and then it should come apart. But we'll put it together. And I'm going to turn it on. And as you can see, here's the first setting. Oh, there we go. And you can see the ring light here, that it is fully illuminated. Then we'll go a little bit higher. And that's our max setting. 6 hours at a full charge. There is an LED indicator. Hold it down to turn off. Is that right? Oh no, just hit it. Just press it to turn off. Yeah, it just cycles through the 3. 1 on, more intensity, and then next one, I don't know why it didn't do anything. There we go, turns it off there. Now also when you're charging it, there is an LED light right here. And when you're charging, it'll go red. And then when it's fully charged, it will become green. So that's fairly easy way to do it. But in order to install this, we're going to have to take it apart again. And then now we're going to get into it on the tool itself. We need to remove this ring. And in order to do that, we're going to do a Torx 15 screw head. This ring comes out, and then our chip deflector also comes with it. There's a 2-part to this chip deflector. There we go. Just kind of pull it off. There's little tabs that'll snap off. There's a little bit of a lip right here that goes into this and comes apart. So just got to be careful with that. Don't rip it off this way, because you could break that. Now this piece is going to be set aside, but we can reuse this. This will actually go here onto that lip. I'm pretty sure it should go in there. Oh, actually, we should put that in after. Okay, let's put this here. Now this opening here is for the dust port, so make sure you set that in. There's little tabs that hold it in place, so you can't really put it in the wrong way. So that goes in like this. I'll put the ring back on. So fairly easy to work with. Screw this in. On the back side here, this can be removed. This screw here can be removed just to give us more space to install this power module. Again, be careful. Oh, see, there it goes. There is this spring, and it's not captured or anything, so it's just kind of hanging there loose. What it does, it provides tension so that it doesn't rotate as easily while it's screwed in, but when you take it off, you could easily lose that. So do be careful. Then we're going to take our module And remember how we plugged it in earlier? We're just going to slide that down in there like this. Make sure you return this lock screw here. You can see the lock screw slightly overhangs the housing of the light, so it's better to take that off. Otherwise, you kind of got to maneuver it in and do all of that rigmarole. Of course, there's the power button, so make sure we turn it on. Boom. Oh, nice. How about a little bit more? Oh, yeah, yeah. One more hit. Okay, so it is that 3. So 1, 2, 3. So easy enough to use. Now, of course, the chip deflector, like I said, we can put that back in here now. Just kind of position it. Of course, the slots mean that it goes in one way. What this does, it captures, you don't necessarily need this, but what it does, it captures the dust and holds it in. As long as you have a bit that's smaller than this hole in diameter, this will work perfectly well and help to enhance dust collection, prevent it from coming up and out. All right, that's pretty much everything for functionality of this OF1010 router. We've got our edge guide, precision ground rods, the guide thingy, 1/4 inch collet, 18mm spanner. So there it is, the OF1010 router from Festool. I'm looking forward to using this. I got this because I have this LR32 system and I've been borrowing my friend's 1400, and I thought that maybe I better start getting my own router. Now, when it comes to the lineup of Festool routers, this is one of the smaller ones. In the major series of them, this is the smaller one. This is the OF1010. A little bit more power as well as greater capacity for 1/2 inch and 12mm bits is the OF1400. And then finally, the big daddy that people always seem to love, this is the OF2200. And you can see the whole family of routers right here from Festool. So, hope this helps. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. Catch you on the next time.